So if I tell you that there are about 6, 7 people entering a bank very purposefully with masks on, what would you think? Ah, paying customers. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Times have certainly changed after the pandemic. Having traveled across continents and having seen so many different people and different cultures look at masks, I decided to investigate this and figure out what the future of masks is. Can we derive any lessons from, say, ties or seatbelts? Let's do it. Let's compare ties to masks and let's see whether masks will go the ties way. Tie started off as a functional thing. Functionally, you had to wear a tie because it essentially allowed you to wipe your mouth so that your suit won't get disturbed or something. That's the backstory origin that, kind of resonates with me a lot, because otherwise I used to wonder what functional use does a tie have. Now, today, there is no functional use, but there is a social use. The social use is very interesting. You wear a tie to be respected, to be part of a community, to be part of a tribe, so that when you go to a bank again, you will be greeted by somebody who wears a tie, so you think, my money is safe here. Now, can a mask actually go the tie route? Let's compare the adoption of masks to the adoption of seat belts. Now that's a very interesting thing, because earlier there were no seat belts and people felt very uncomfortable when seat belts were first introduced, and they were a functional thing that were, you used to feel very uncomfortable. Now you feel uncomfortable when you don't wear a seat belt. So the roles have reversed, and the functionality that was new has now become very well adopted by all of us. Will masks become like that, wherein we are completely oblivious to the fact that we are wearing a mask and we feel uncomfortable when we don't wear one? So what do you think? Will we go the ties route or the seatbelt route? It really depends upon the culture that you're in. For example, in the US, people don't give a shit about masks even when the pandemic was on. And so I'd really doubt whether masks as a thing will last, whether as a tie or as a seatbelt. In Japan, on the other hand, they used to wear masks even before the pandemic happened, and I think that that's why it will have both a functional usage and a social usage, which means they will use it like a tie as well as a seatbelt. Now, in a place in Europe, maybe it will be more of a social thing. In India, it will be more of a functional thing. Perhaps in some cities, perhaps it will be more of a social thing in some cities or in some stratas, right? So it really depends upon the culture that we are in. But I predict that masks will last if the culture is going to insist that you wear a mask.